How's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to the channel, my name's Rohan. It's my platform where I do MMA and boxing related content. If you're new here, why don't you help me grow my channel? All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like it, hit that bell icon so you know all my videos are coming in. If you don't like it, well then go ahead and dislike it. It's cool. Maybe get involved in the conversation in the comment section below. Anyways, this is a really fun video that I'm really looking forward to make. Basically, recently I got speaking to a gentleman who goes by the handle Just Rhymes, J-U-Z Rhyme. In the comment section of MMA release video, top 10 hype Prince Darrell, they gave me a shout out, which I appreciate that. MMA release, thank you. And Just Rhyme said, well, he was getting a bit annoyed that the content creator for MMA release hadn't taken on board his suggestion for videos that he had been suggested for a while. Anyways, here in mindforcombat, we always make all the suggestions happen, and whilst I don't do top 10 videos, which is what you requested, just because I find top 10 videos a little bit laborious and I feel like sometimes I might lose my step in the top 10 video, especially working, full-time role when I'm doing this on the side. I do top four videos. So this is and I haven't even told you what the video was. The video is top 4, not 10, top 4 fighters who lost the title and won it back. And now this is a video that I'm really, really excited to make. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right. So when we're talking about fighters that lost their belt and won back, there's a few things that in my mind make it an exceptional accomplishment. So firstly, when the fighter lost his belt and he won it back, did he get it back in a fight that nobody thought he was going to win it back? What was the circumstances in which he lost the first fight? And there's a few exceptions that come to mind that won't be in the list, but are also great examples. So like Patricio Pitbull in the third fight with Daniel Strauss, after, when he lost to Daniel Strauss, he went up to lightweight, he lost to Benson Henderson, came back down, got a title shot immediately, just based on his history, won the belt, and he's been the champion ever since, and that was for his second world championship run. Or then there's George St. Pierre who took out Matt Serra. That's another exceptional example of a guy who won his belt back. Cain Velasquez when he won his belt back from JDS. But these are not examples that I'm going to have on the list. My top 4 starts off with Stipe Miocic, who lost his belt to Daniel Cormier. Now Stipe Miocic, who's 37 years old at the time of making this video, is probably one of my current favourite heavyweights of all time. Not just fighting actively now, he's probably one of my all-time favourite heavyweights, and he's a guy that I really have a ton of time and respect for, just because he handles himself in such an admirable way. Anyway, let me not digress. He went into his fight with Daniel Cormier in July 2018 as a favourite, and I had picked him to win that fight. Daniel Cormier, who was a light heavyweight champion, had been reinstated, defended his belt, and was jumping up to 265-pound division to test his chops and see if he can win a belt in a division where he never actually lost a fight. He was taking on Stipe Miocic, the most defendingest champion they've ever been at heavyweight, and there was a lot of hype surrounding this fight. I felt like Stipe was going to be able to utilise his size and be able to get the victory. That's not what happened. Despite having taken Francis Ngannou punches in January 2018, in July 2018, Daniel Cormier proved that he has enough power to take out the heavyweight champion and flatlined him in the first round. And that was absolutely incredible performance by Daniel Cormier, who went on to defend his belt against Derek Lewis. For Stipe Miocic, just didn't sit right. He was obviously very upset. He was very vocal in wanting a rematch. He felt like he deserved a rematch. Rightfully so, he did deserve a rematch. And he was just not willing to let it go. He would not fight again until he got a title shot. Fast forward 13 months from the date he got knocked out in the first round, he takes on Daniel Cormier in a rematch. Now the first round goes practically how you would expect it to go, well, how a lot of people were expecting it to go, for Daniel Cormier to come out and carry on dominating Stipe. He dominated Stipe for the first round. Stipe then composed himself, being the true champion that he is, dug deep, and in a true workman mentality went to war with Daniel Cormier. Now he demonstrated what Joey Diaz talks about, his immigrant mentality, and was able to show Daniel Cormier that he is the top heavyweight in the world, and remind us all, not remind me because I picked him, but remind Daniel Cormier that he is the best heavyweight. And with those brutal left hooks to the body, he was able to seal that one. So at number 4, I have Stipe Miocic. Moving on, number 4, Daniel Cormier is back. Daniel Cormier, who got reinstated as the belt. Now, Daniel Cormier went into his 2017 grudge match with John Jones, really making it clear how badly he needed to get this win. For it to be a rivalry, I must win this fight. I hate John Jones. There were bitter blood between the both of them, and John Jones was coming into this fight talking a lot of shit. Obviously, he had the bragging rights from the first fight, and he was looking to maintain it. The fight was a very competitive one, and actually I had Daniel Cormier winning up until he wasn't, when John Jones landed a brutal head kick, and then with the punches was able to finish Daniel Cormier and make a statement. That was an absolutely incredible win for John Jones. After the fight now, John Jones would go on to test positive for steroids for what I believe was the 3rd time in his career. Now that is absolutely insane. Daniel Cormier gets reinstated as the champion and gets the belt back. That's not something that any of us ever expected, and it just goes to show you don't have to win your belt back in the ring to be reinstated. If your opponent is found to be guilty of foul play, you're getting your belt back. So congratulations Daniel Cormier in 2017, and he got his belt back. So at number 3, I've got Daniel Cormier getting his belt back when he was reinstated after John Jones tested positive by USADA. At number 2, I've got a fighter who I don't believe gets nowhere near the level of respect that he deserves, and that's Douglas the Phenom Lima, the older brother of Diego Lima, the UFC fighter. Now, Douglas Lima is, in my opinion, one of the, if not the greatest Bellator fighters of all time. Douglas Lima is a 3-time Bellator champion. He's won 2 tournaments in Bellator under the Born Rebney format and just won the Grand Prix. He went into his Bellator New York City fight in Madison Square Garden against Rory MacDonald as a huge underdog. Rory MacDonald had won 2 in a row since signing with Bellator, taking out the likes of Paul Daly and I forget who the other gentleman. I forget who the other gentleman was, but yeah, he had taken out Paul Daly in one of those wins, and he was going into his fight with Douglas Lima, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, he's gonna get Douglas Lima in this fight, and that was actually something that a lot of us were thinking is going to happen. Now, he goes into the fight, he has an absolute war with Rory MacDonald, and he loses the fight. Unfortunate for him, a lot of fighters would have probably bowled it out and quit, but not Douglas Lima. That's not the fighter he is. He jumps right back in it, signs up for the Bellator welterweight Grand Prix. In his first fight, he's matched up with Andrei Koreshkov, the man who ended his first title reign in Bellator. Now, that was absolutely exceptional, his performance with Andrei Koreshkov, and it capped off his trilogy to demonstrate the world that he is the better of the 2 fighters. Made it 2-1, capped off that one, moved on, and next he gets the undefeated, brash, outspoken, showboating British fighter MVP. Now, Michael Venom Page had become famous around the world and still is for his incredible finishes. Venom Page was going into this fight with an undefeated record of 14-0 and the best win of his career against Paul Daly, but people were questioning the level of competition that he had been fighting. Fear not, Douglas Lima was here to show you guys just how good he is, and he went there and he absolutely put a stomp on him. He got one of the most viral knockouts of 2019 with that leg kick and then overhand right when he was down to finish it off, and he looked absolutely incredible doing it. Moved in to fight Rory MacDonald and absolutely cruises to a decision win to reclaim his belt, 3rd world title, make it 1-1 with Rory MacDonald, beat him over to PFL and get his belt back for the 1st time and show the world that he is the best welterweight in Bellator. And actually, I would love to see him against Kamaru Usman. So fingers crossed. Come on Dana, come on Scott Coker, make it happen. Number 1. Now, number 1 is a fighter who is truly exceptional beyond reason, and that's Dominick Cruz. Dominick the Dominator Cruz is one of the most respected fighters, in my opinion, of all time, and he is, in my opinion, the greatest bantamweight of all time. The former WEC bantamweight champion who was crowned the UFC champion when he got Scott Jorgensen in the WEC 53, moved over to the UFC and firstly made it 1-1 with his rival Uriah Faber, and then took on a guy who would go on to arguably become the greatest fighter of all time in Mighty Mouse Johnson, and dominated him in his final bantamweight fight prior to him moving down to flyweight. Dominick Cruz at this point was ready to make a big splash and become the first bantamweight star. Unfortunately for Dominick Cruz, injury struck and his trilogy fight with Uriah Faber got cancelled. Renan Barão would go on to win the title by beating Uriah Faber, and Dominick Cruz would proceed to be out for 5 years, have just one fight in 5 years, from 2011 to 2016. In the meantime, Renan Barão will become the champion. He would become arguably one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and TJ Dillashaw was coming up. TJ Dillashaw shocked the world and took out Renan Barão in 2015. Meanwhile, Dominick Cruz remained comfortable on the sidelines. Dominick Cruz comes back in 2015, I believe it was. 2015 he comes back and has a fight with, 2014 he comes back and has a fight with Takeya Mitsugaki, who at the time is riding a 5-fight win streak and gets his first finish in ages. Unfortunately, after that, he has more injuries and it takes up more time. By the time he comes back, TJ Dillashaw is sitting atop the throne. He's taken out Renan Barão not once but twice, taken out Joe Soto, defended his belt on 2 different occasions, taken out the pound-for-pound best, and he's a guy that a lot of people are saying is unstoppable. Dominick Cruz comes in with only one fight in 5 years, and he looks like he's got a dad bod in the way he comes into the fight, and despite it being a controversial decision, I think the right decision was made, and Dominick Cruz takes out TJ Dillashaw to become the champion, and that's why he becomes my number 1 best story for a title reclamation. Dominick Cruz is an absolute legend for what he was able to do that night, and I don't think nothing in history will ever take that away from him. Dominick Cruz is one of the best fighters of all time, and the way he reclaimed his belt is one of the most impressive things I have ever seen as a fight fan. So fight fan, that's my top 4. Why don't you guys comment below and let me know your top 4. And remember, over here in Mindful Combat, if you guys have suggestions, those videos are going to be coming your way as soon as I'm feeling better, of course, but they do come your way. So guys, comment below with your video suggestions. I hope you like the video. Let me know your top 4. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Thank you for watching, guys. I'm Rohan, and this is Mindful Combat.